Hey actors, let's get into rehearsal. So there's an awful lot to say on this particular topic. So this is actually going to come to you in parts. I'm going to start today with something specific, and then I'll have some other videos after this that really get into it. I'll post more videos where we go more in depth about specific techniques and processes and goals. I worked with a lot of actors, new and seasoned, and the truth is that a lot of people think they're rehearsing when they're really skimming or reading in their heads, not activating a full physicalized, vocalized rehearsal process. In my classroom, we focus on process before performance. So years ago, I wrote these 5 rehearsal ideals down on the dry erase board in the classroom, and they hit and they stuck, and we kept them as a continued mantra for how we wanted to rehearse. So they're ideals. Ideals is not a rule, is not a checklist. It's a standard. It's a principle that you aim for. It's something that guides your process. These 5 habits will transform how you show up to your rehearsal and how you approach your process. So here we go. Okay, so here we go. Read everything. This is ideal number 1. Read everything. Not just your lines, not just your scenes. Read the whole play. Read the whole script. Every character, every stage direction. When it's audition sides, read the crossed out stuff. What's happening before you get there, and any other source material that you can find. Because context creates character. Context gives you your given circumstances much more fully and comprehensively. The more you understand the world that you're living in, the more grounded your work is. And why wouldn't you want as much context as you could get? So read everything. That is rehearsal ideal number 1. And I know that it sounds so obvious. You will be surprised how many people still only gravitate to their stuff, something they think is the thing they're supposed to say or do, without context for it, without understanding what came before that, why it's being said, when it's being said, or anything else around it. So this is about understanding the given circumstances the writer gave us that we are supposed to pay attention to. Bottom line is, if the writer put it on the page, it's important. Ideal number 2, move around. All right. Rehearsal is a physical experience. We don't sit on the couch with our script and call that rehearsal. That's just reading our script, which is valid. If you want to rehearse, you're going to have to engage. Engage with the material. So get up, walk through it, move through it. Let the body discover things that your brain doesn't have access to when it's just reading it. The body is going to experience it. What you don't have are the actual experiences of the character. So let's create them. Let's give ourselves their body and their voice. But the only way to do that is to actually engage physically and vocally when you rehearse. This is when other things show up, right? Tension patterns show up, emotions will get unlocked. Other things are gonna happen to you because you're activating the entire instrument. You're gonna find rhythms that you didn't know were there for the character. You're going to find their tempo. You're going to find how they engage fully, physically and vocally with what they're saying. These days, actors are editing before they're exploring. In this self-tape era, actors have moved to a place where they're following casting director audition instructions before they're ever figured out what the character is doing on the page, figured out who the character is on the page, or the moment that they're living in. You have to engage fully with your entire instrument in the rehearsal. So rehearsal is about discovery. It's not about directing yourself. Okay? Remember, if you engage in a physical and vocal process, you will activate those parts of yourself that connect to this character, and you will be able to create that story and that character much more believably and much more fully. I also promise you that if you engage fully in a physicalized rehearsal process, those lines will come. They will come more organically for you than trying to memorize them in some academic way. Okay, number 3 is work out loud, which really goes hand in hand with movement, right? As I said, you have to engage fully physically and vocally. When I say work out loud, I mean every single thing that you're reading. Say it all at least once out loud. Say those stage directions, say other people's lines, say everything that you see on that page. Just say it out loud at least once. You're going to be surprised what you remember just by asking yourself to say it out loud at least once. It's going to draw your attention to something important that you might normally have just skimmed over because you stopped and you said it out loud. Saying those lines out loud is where you start to connect with them. You're going to learn your timing. You're going to know what's natural. You're going to feel what isn't natural. You're going to also find out some really important technical things like, oh, that word's hard to say, or I can't really pronounce that, so maybe I don't really know the meaning of it. Working out loud does the same thing that movement does. It creates a full body, voice, heart, mind, and spirit connection to what you are doing with the material. This one's quick. Ideal number 4, use up all your time. So, ideal number 4, use up all your time, I actually invented after teaching kids who used to like to come up to me during their rehearsal and say, I'm done. I'd always send them back and encourage them to see that there's always going to be something else to discover. So, use up all your time really has always meant you're never done. There's always something else to discover. That's what that means. Always something else to discover. Ideal number 5, drop the script. As soon as you can, get that script out of your hands. Why? Because the moment that you're free of the paper, your body starts to react, starts to talk. You start listening more deeply. You connect. This doesn't mean that you got to be memorized perfectly when you drop the script. You're not going to be memorized perfectly when you drop the script. What it means is that you've absorbed enough to work without it. Trust wherever you are in that prep and let go of those pages from time to time to allow yourself to think like the character, not like an actor trying to remember a line. You want to feel what it's like to come up with something to say when that line isn't there to look at. What you're doing is you're forcing yourself to think like the character. And when you think like the character, you will ground yourself into the character and into the moment in a way that we sometimes don't when we're really reading along instead of engaging in the moment. You can always grab the script afterwards and look up the missed line or the missed beat. But to let the character live on its own for a bit instead of trying to check your work while you're in the middle of your work, that's where you really start to engage and connect and create an experience or have an experience as the character. It's also the leap of faith. It's taking the risk to fully engage. Rehearsal, and we'll get into this in the videos to come, is all about taking leaps of faith. It's all about taking risks. It's all about engaging in something so fully that you don't know where it's going. The words will come to you, and you have to allow that to happen organically. But if we're always feeling that sense of safety, because we're going to hold on to that script, so we're just going to stay safe, we're never going to be in a place where we're receptive enough to have an organic response. So get rid of it and take the leap. It's your time. Nobody's watching. It's the time to let yourself free up so the character can come out there and live. Okay, that's it. So those are my 5 rehearsal ideals. This is really the beginning, guys. This is the foundation that I wanted to make sure I put out there so that you have it right next to you when we start really getting into more in-depth rehearsal processes. 5 rehearsal ideals. Read everything, move around, work out loud, use up all your time, drop the script. Remember, like I said at the beginning, it's a standard. It is a principle that you aim for. It is something that guides your process. So get ready for more rehearsal technique and more rehearsal advice. And like and subscribe and comment if you have any questions about your process or about processes that I recommend. And I'll see you guys on the next one.